Before we dive into our huge, long corporate finance example, I want to talk a little bit about what to do with profits. You remember profits, right? Profits were what we figured out in financial accounting and a little bit of managerial accounting. In financial accounting, they have a very specific name called retained earnings. Remember, retained earnings was the account that was found on the balance sheet under the equity section, but it came and was increased by net profits on the income statement. Net profits eventually becomes retained earnings. Retained earnings is a way that people can share in the money, whether it's giving it to dividends, which goes to investors, or paying off debt, which goes to debtors, or reinvesting it in the company itself. You see, the one thing we have not really talked about is that sometimes it's possible to do these huge kind of investment opportunities through retained earnings, which have a lot lower cost of capital than debt or equity, because it's just coming from you and you alone. But it's still great practice to always evaluate every investment opportunity like you're going to be going out and trying to fund it using debt or equity. That's why we use the WACC so often when we come down to figuring out a discount rate for these opportunities. So whether or not you're using your own money or your company's profits to fund these investments, you always need to make sure you're using the correct discount rate, usually WACC, to make those decisions. However, if you have some extra profits on the side, we'll actually go into an example about what you can do with those profits that makes the most sense, whether it is investing into opportunities, paying off debt, or giving dividends. So for right now, just understand that retained earnings is still important. Even though we're not doing balance sheets and income statements, retained earnings is still a massive source for company growth. And what you can do with it really varies, but what you should do with it is always an easy mathematical answer. And that's what our last project's going to be looking at. We're going to lump everything we've been doing so far, such as NPV, IRR, WACC, and now this conversation, into one example.